Imagine this, a dusty toolbox in one hand, a heart full of doubt in the other, and a girl with eyes like summer storms who turns a simple fence repair into the start of forever. But wait, fast forward to the end, where I'm standing at an altar, hammer long forgotten, exchanging vows with the woman who once handed me a nail and stole my soul. If that twist has you hooked, stick around because this story of love built from broken wood and unexpected courage is about to unfold. And hey, if it resonates, smash that like button and subscribe for more tales that prove romance hides in the everyday. Your next favorite story might be just one click away. My name's Jack, a 28-year-old handyman in the sleepy town of Willow Creek, where picket fences outnumber people and everyone knows your business before you do. I'd been fixing things since I was a kid, first my dad's old truck, then neighbors' leaky roofs. It was steady work, but lonely. After my high school sweetheart left me for a city job 2 years back, I'd sworn off romance. Focus on the nails, not the heartstrings, I'd tell myself, pounding away at whatever needed mending. That summer, though, everything changed when I got a call from Emily Harper. Emily was new in town, or at least new to me. She'd inherited her grandmother's cottage on the outskirts, a charming but run-down place with a fence that looked like it had survived a tornado. "It's falling apart," she said over the phone, her voice soft but urgent. "Can you come today? I'll pay extra." I grabbed my tools and headed over, expecting a quick job. What I found was a yard overgrown with wildflowers, a porch swing creaking in the breeze, and Emily herself, mid-20s, with freckles across her nose and hair tied back in a messy ponytail. She waved from the gate, wearing overalls smeared with paint, looking like she'd been wrestling with the house all morning. "Thanks for coming so fast," she said, shaking my hand. Her grip was firm, her smile genuine. "The fence is a mess, animals keep getting in, and I'm trying to turn this into a garden." As I surveyed the damage, splintered posts and sagging rails, she chatted away. Turns out she was an artist, moved here to escape the chaos of city life after a bad breakup. "Needed a fresh start," she explained, handing me a glass of lemonade. "Figured fixing up Gran's place would fix me too." I nodded, focusing on measuring the wood. Small talk was fine, but I wasn't here to make friends. The job took longer than expected. A storm had weakened the soil, so I had to dig new holes for the posts. Emily stuck around, asking questions like, "What's the best wood for this climate?" and "How do you know when it's level?" At first, I answered curtly, "I'm not much for conversation on the clock." But she had this way of listening, really listening, like my words were art pieces she was studying. By lunchtime, she'd convinced me to take a break on the porch. "You can't work on an empty stomach," she insisted, bringing out sandwiches. We talked about everything, my love for building things that last, her passion for painting emotions onto canvas. She showed me a sketchbook filled with vibrant landscapes, each one capturing a feeling I couldn't quite name. As the afternoon wore on, a challenge arose. The old fence had termite damage deeper than I'd thought. "This might need a full replacement," I told her, wiping sweat from my brow. Emily's face fell. Money was tight, she admitted. She'd quit her graphic design job to pursue art full-time, and the inheritance wasn't much. "I can't afford that right now," she said, her voice cracking a bit. Seeing her vulnerability hit me hard. I'd been there, scraping by after my ex left, wondering if I'd ever build something stable again. "Tell you what," I offered impulsively. "I'll patch it for now, no extra charge, and come back later for the full fix when you're ready." Her eyes lit up. "You're a lifesaver, Jack." That evening, as I hammered the last nail, the sun dipped low, painting the sky in oranges and pinks. Emily watched from the steps, then suddenly stood. "Hey, Jack. This might sound crazy, but would you want to grab dinner sometime? Not as a thank you, but because I'd like to know more about the guy who fixes fences and hearts." I froze, hammer mid-swing. Me? The guy who'd buried himself in work to avoid feeling anything? But her smile was so hopeful, so real. "Yeah," I stammered. "I'd like that." Our first date was at the local diner, nothing fancy, burgers and fries under fluorescent lights. But it felt right. Emily opened up about her ex, a controlling type who'd dimmed her spark. "I came here to find myself," she said, "but meeting you feels like finding something more." I shared my story too, the heartbreak that made me wary. I thought love was like that old fence, bound to fall apart. She reached across the table, her hand warm on mine. "Maybe we can build a stronger one together." Challenges didn't stop there. A week later, a big storm hit Willow Creek, flooding yards and toppling trees. Emily's fence held, barely, but her roof didn't. Water poured in, ruining some of her paintings. I rushed over at dawn, tarp in hand, and we spent the day patching and drying. Exhausted, soaked, we sat on the floor amid the mess. "Why does everything have to break?" she whispered, tears mixing with rain on her cheeks. I pulled her close. "Because that's when we learn to rebuild better." That night, we shared our first kiss, tasting of salt and promise. As weeks turned to months, our relationship deepened. Emily's art flourished, she started selling pieces at local markets, inspired by our story. I took on more jobs, but now with her encouragement, dreaming bigger, maybe starting my own repair business. But doubt crept in. My ex called one day, out of the blue, saying she'd made a mistake and wanted to try again. It shook me. What if I'm not enough? I confessed to Emily that night, pacing her living room. She stopped me, eyes fierce. "Jack, you're the one who showed up, who fixed what was broken without asking for anything. That's more than enough." Her words mended something in me, resolving the lingering pain. I blocked my ex's number and chose the future. Another hurdle, Emily's family. They visited from the city, skeptical of small-town life and a handyman boyfriend. Her dad grilled me over dinner. "What are your plans? Can you provide?" I swallowed hard. "I plan to love her every day, sir. And build a life where she can chase her dreams." Emily squeezed my knee under the table. By the end of the weekend, they'd warmed up, seeing how we supported each other. Our bond grew through little moments, picnics in her garden, where wildflowers now bloomed around the sturdy fence, late nights painting while I sketched renovation ideas, even a road trip to the coast, where we laughed through a flat tire, turning mishap into memory. But the real test came when Emily got an offer for a gallery show in the city, her big break, but it meant weeks away. "Go," I urged, though my heart ached. "I'll be here, holding down the fort." She did, and her success was electric. When she returned, canvas in tow, she said, "I missed you more than the spotlight. This is home now, you are." Fast forward a year, I proposed in that same yard, down on one knee amid the flowers, a ring I'd saved for. "From hammer and nails to hard eyes," I said, echoing her playful words from our first date. She said yes, tears shining. And that's how a simple fence fix became our foundation. Life's full of breaks, but with courage and connection, we rebuild stronger. If this story moved you, remember, love often starts in the unexpected. Like, subscribe, and share your own tales in the comments. Let's build a community of hearts mended together. Who knows? Your story might inspire the next one.